Hey guys, I'm Tom the Tech Chap, and I've been lucky enough to get hands-on with the new Huawei Mate 20 and the Mate 20 Pro. Now for this video, I'm going to focus on the flagship, the Mate 20 Pro. So let's get straight into it and unbox the phone. And the first thing you notice when you flip it over is that new square 4-point camera design with 3 lenses and 1 flash. And on the front, you can see the new in-screen fingerprint reader. But if we put the phone to one side just for a second, let's see what else we get in the box. So there's the usual SIM ejector tool, Huawei's supercharger plug, a USB-C to USB-A cable, 3.5mm to USB-C adapter as there's no headphone jack, and a pair of earphones. So this is what you get in the box with the new Mate 20 Pro. All fairly standard except for that charger, which is a new 40-watt supercharger. It's exclusive to the Pro, and Huawei say this will get you from 0 to 70% of your battery in just half an hour. Obviously, if you buy it in the UK, then you'll get a UK plug. But let's get back to the phone. And I have to say, it is stunning to look at, and even nicer to hold. Every edge is curved, and the corners of the phone even match the curvature of that square camera setup. It is definitely a big phone, but in my brief hands-on it felt comfortable to hold thanks to those rounded corners, and the taller 19.5:9 aspect ratio means it's not too wide. So the Mate 20 Pro will come in 5 colours, with 2 of them, the midnight blue and emerald green models, sporting a fancy new hyper-optical pattern design on the back. Run your finger across them and it feels like glass, but it also makes it feel less slippery and it's less of a fingerprint magnet. So it's a beautiful looking phone, but the highlight is of course that huge screen. It's a 6.39-inch 2K Plus OLED display that supports HDR. Side by side with the slightly smaller Mate 20, you can see the Pro has a wider notch, and that's because it incorporates a 3D depth sensing camera for more secure face unlocking. And speaking of security, you'll notice there's no fingerprint reader on the back, and that's because it's now in the screen and uses what's called a dynamic pressure sensor. It seemed pretty fast and reliable in my quick tests, but it's something I'll look at in more detail in my full review. Specs-wise, this thing is a beast. It's Huawei's first phone to ship with their new Kirin 980, which is actually the world's first 7nm chipset. Huawei say the processor is 20% faster and the graphics are 45% faster than their previous chip, and it's 40% more power efficient. Alongside the Kirin 980, we have 6GB of RAM and 128GB of built-in storage. And this is actually expandable through an all-new Nano SD card. This is unique to Huawei right now and is the same size as a Nano SIM card. And all of this is powered by a massive 4,200 mAh battery. That's 200 more than last year's Mate 10 Pro and this year's P20 Pro. And combined with the more efficient Kirin chip and the better optimized software, we should easily get 2 days of battery from this thing. And as well as the 40-watt supercharging, it also supports fast 15-watt wireless charging and an all-new reverse wireless charging system, so you can actually top up your friends' phones if their phones also support wireless charging. The Mate 20 Pro will ship running Android 9 with Huawei's all-new EMUI 9.0 skin on top. Now, I've only had a short time with the phone, but it did feel really responsive, and Huawei say opening apps is a lot faster now. Android 9 also brings gesture support, so you can actually get rid of the Android navbar completely and just use gestures. And as well as streamlining the UI, Huawei have integrated AI into nearly every aspect of the phone, which helps improve performance, battery life, and the camera. And speaking of which, what I'm most looking forward to having a proper play with is that camera. I love the camera on the P20 Pro, and this takes that to the next level. It's a similar 3-lens setup, but they've switched out the monochrome lens for a super wide-angle lens. So altogether we have a 40-megapixel f1.8 main lens, a 20-megapixel f2.2 ultra-wide-angle lens, and an 8-megapixel f2.4 telephoto lens, which gives you a 3x optical zoom or a 5x hybrid zoom. I took a few shots with it and picture quality looks great. I also really like that the AI will automatically detect faces and put you in portrait mode. And the flexibility you get with a super wide, wide, and a zoom lens is so cool. I'm really impressed so far. And Super Saf, my friend, you're an excellent model. It's just a shame it's a grey old rainy day here in London, or else the view from the Shard will be a lot nicer. There's also a 24-megapixel f2 selfie camera on the front, and the Mate 20 Pro can now shoot stabilized 4K video, and even in a 21:9 aspect ratio for that cinematic look. So that is the new Huawei Mate 20 Pro, and while this has been a pretty long unboxing video, there's just so much to talk about. Huawei have packed it with all the bells and whistles, and it looks to be a very promising flagship. The Mate 20 Pro will cost you £899 here in the UK. Although there is a promotion on, if you pre-order the Mate 20 Pro before the 26th of October, you'll get a free Huawei Watch GT and a wireless charger that are worth £259. Not too shabby. But make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for more videos on the Mate 20 Pro coming soon. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time right here on the Tech Chap.